In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 best books to learn about finance with. Let's start with number 5, Good to Great by Jim Collins. Good to Great is far from your typical finance book. It was worked on by over 20 different employees for a combined estimated 15,000 hours. That's just astounding. And what they were studying was they studied these public companies and their performance over time and different factors and variabilities so that they could figure out what makes a company good and what makes it great and how did a company go from good to great. And they value these companies over a long period of time. They wouldn't just have their data skewed by a company that did really good for a couple of years but ultimately failed. And I was actually just looking through this and I noticed this first paragraph is just really capturing, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it to you guys. Good is the enemy of great. And that is one of the key reasons why we have so little that becomes great. We don't have great schools principally because we have good schools. We don't have great government principally because we have good government. Few people attain great lives in large part because it is just so easy to settle for a good life. The vast majority of companies never become great precisely because the vast majority become quite good, and that is their main problem. This is the perfect book if you are a CEO or aspiring CEO, you're a business owner that's trying to scale up, you're really in any sort of a leadership position, this is an amazing book to read. Also, if you are looking to invest, this is really great because you can use the skills it teaches you to evaluate whether a company is good or great, whether you should buy them, if you're looking at like buying stocks in the stock market. And the only reason it's even this far down the list is that a lot of the skills aren't as universally as useful and also aren't as useful for like my sort of audience, and also aren't as useful as for like us teenagers. So I'm just gonna put it down there, but honestly, it's just as good as any of these other books. Number 4 is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This is one of the most popular books about money and success that's out there. And you've probably watched some other YouTube videos about good finance books to read, and if so, you've definitely heard of this one. Now, don't get me wrong, this is an amazing book. It gives you the perfect mindset for being an entrepreneur and a business owner. It teaches you about debt, the power of debt and leverage. Please forgive me, Dave Ramsey. However, its problem is it doesn't have anything actionable. You read through this whole book and then you just built up your mindset, but there's nothing you can do. There's nothing that you now know, no tricks you can implement, no tools that you can use for your life. It's all just kind of back-end stuff. And that's good, but action is ultimately a bit more important. Number 3 is The CEO Next Door by Elena Bohello and Kim Powell. The CEO Next Door is similar to Good to Great in the sense that they're both pretty heavily researched and they're both looking at companies that are in the public exchange and public companies and CEOs. It's a really high-level book. However, the difference is mainly focuses that this one's hyper-focused on the CEO aspect and how to be the best, like how you can be the best CEO and lead your company the best. Well, that one's focused on the best companies and less on the CEO itself, and even showing how some CEOs that are less personally centric, CEOs that are less focused on making themselves money can actually be better for the company than CEOs that might be better, but their really main concern is just trying to load their pockets as much as possible. Well, this one's all about CEOs, and leadership is a really important skill that honestly we could probably all use at some point in our life, so this book is just an amazing way to get ahead and start developing that skill. Number 2, we got The $100 Startup by Chris Guillebeau. The $100 Startup is a book based around showing you how to cheaply and easily start a business of your own. This is really great for teenagers or young adults who don't have very much money and are just trying to get started, building some kind of a side hustle or a small little business. However, it does contain knowledge and information that's useful at any level. The tools and templates they have in this book are just so useful for everyone, but especially teenagers. Especially the one-page business plan. This is just extremely helpful. You'll use this like pretty much every time you're like seriously looking into some kind of a side hustle or business. It's just an amazing tool to use. Honestly, the CEO Next Door and Good to Great, I owe some serious rereads. This has been a couple of years. Number 1 on this list is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now you're probably looking at me like, Drew, why do you have a book about building habits on your list about finance and money books? Well, here's why. Is that habits are really amazing. They help you build everything and anything in your life. And when it comes to finance, they're still the best. Sticking to a budget, starting a business, developing any skill that could help make you money in the future, all that stems from the habits that this book will teach you how to build. And not just build habits, it also shows you how to use the tools to break habits that you want to break. And honestly, when it comes to succeeding at anything in life or accomplishing any goals, this is the best and fastest way you can go ahead and get started with that. It's just by starting slow, building the foundation of starting with any sort of habit that you have and just going forward with that. After I read this book, I started going to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. It's been something I've wanted to do for several years now, and I've actually been able to stick with the habit longer than ever before. I'm about to hit the 3-month mark in a few days now. So, and that's all due to this book. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, smash the like button and subscribe. If you want to see a video all about alternative investments, go ahead and click here. It'll help you diversify your portfolio.